Hi, I'm Sean Gerrity. I run the American Prairie Reserve and I'm a National Geographic Fellow. We're here today to talk about a project that I'm involved with my team in Montana to build the largest wildlife complex ever assembled in the continental United States.
Hello, this is Randy Zucker with genConnect. I'm at the 2012 Aspen Environment Forum joined by Sean Gerrity. Sean, you are building the world's largest, is it the world's largest wildlife?
Continental United States.
Continental United States under the American Prairie Reserve.
Right.
So tell us what the goal is huge. The number of acres I can't even wrap my head around.
The goal is to assemble 3.5 million acres of wildlife habitat and reinstate what was there in the late 1700s, late 1800s. 3.5 million acres is about 5,000 square miles. It's about the size of the state of Connecticut. It's about 1 million acres larger than Yellowstone Park.
And right now, your funds are privately funded as well as some public funds?
It's privately funded, individuals and some foundations, no government money, but in the end result, it's all for the public. It's all publicly accessible.
And if I'm interested in donating or getting involved, how can I go about doing that?
You can go to americanprairie.org, and there's a very easy way to help us out, move the project forward. That would be delightful.
And why are you trying to preserve our wildlife? What are some of the biggest threats happening?
Well, there are a number of things. One, during the real golden age of conservation in this country, early 1800s when we started with Yellowstone, Yosemite, on through the 1950s, when one of the last big ones was Grand Teton National Park, we put together extraordinary, iconic parks and reserves and refuges. But then it kind of came to an end when we're putting things together at full ecological scale. It got difficult. It got difficult to do it by government fiat, which is how all those were done. So there's been a long, quiet period. And our idea is we think there's an opportunity to kind of restart that golden age and do the largest wildlife complex ever created, in fact, 1 million acres larger than the biggest one, Yellowstone, and show that it can be done in this day and age using private funding, not waiting for the government to do it, but for the public's benefit. And so we think that's pretty darn exciting. We think, and do it on the grasslands. The grasslands were passed over. We did the rocks and ice, the canyons, the Everglades, but the grasslands, which ironically, because of their low elevation and incredible forage potential, can have a carrying capacity for wildlife that exceeds all those other parks and reserves combined. So it's very exciting to be able to give this country, a gift to this country, it'll be there like these other parks, 200 or 300 years into the future, that is based on the North American grassland ecosystem. Put everything back, all the nematodes, the pollinators, the prairie dogs, grassland birds, which are incredibly important, all the way up through some of the really big animals, the bison for sure, pronghorn antelope, bighorn sheep, and have them in numbers that are just absolutely mind-boggling, like they used to be when visitors came in the 1800s.
Now, at the Aspen Environment Forum, you had the pleasure of mingling with, Sylvia Earle, renowned oceanographer, right. Chris Johns of National Geographic. Right. What were some of the people or some of the messages that you're going to go home with?
Well, I think what's exciting here is, I would say not all, but a lot of people have a tremendous amount of optimism and hope and tenacity, and they feel like they're going to stick with perseverance and get what it is they're wanting to do. A good friend of mine who's also involved in National Geographic, Ozavell, he's here trying to get the Colorado River restarted again, where it peters out before it gets to the Gulf. Just an amazing project, incredibly important. Other people are working in Gerrity, is working in India to do a very similar kind of thing that I'm doing, but she's coming here finding all kinds of resources, but also inspiration and ideas for how to do something in a very, very difficult situation, tougher than where I'm working. I appreciate having people from the Interior Department here. I hope this Interior gets another 4 years, because some of the folks that are working in Salazar's team there are the kind of people we need to move things forward boldly in this country, to get it restarted again. And have an opportunity to be on a panel with Dr. E.O. Wilson and others. It's a very huge treat for me to be able to come and meet people, get feedback about the project I'm doing. It's great.
Sean, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for the project that you're doing. For more with Sean and for the other great pioneers from the Aspen Environment Forum, you can check out the Aspen Environment Forum website and watch them on genConnect.com.